Booker, are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
Excuse me, it's Booker DeWitt.
Ascension in the count of 5. Count of 4. 3, 2, 1. Ascension. Hallelujah.
This 100 will suffice, as I know how it ends.
Hello and welcome to Columbia, the setting for the final game of what I believe to be one of the best game franchises ever made, and that is the Bioshock series. So this is gameplay from Bioshock Infinite, and it's actually the very first Bioshock game that I played. But ever since the first moment that I turned this game on, I have been absolutely in love with the Bioshock franchise. Particularly in a time period where a lot of shooters these days feel very similar, something like Bioshock I think is desperately needed to revive interest in story-based first-person shooters. So what is it that makes Bioshock such a special series? Well, for me, I've never played anything like it, and if I break it down, I think there's a few key areas in which Bioshock really stands out amongst the rest. Now, I remember a while ago I read a Reddit post all about Bioshock, and I remember one quote from a Reddit user which was that Bioshock plays out like an award-winning movie, and I think I can really understand what they're trying to say with that comment. It ticks all the boxes that make an award-winning film. The Bioshock games are heavily story-based. In fact, Bioshock 2 was the only one to actually have a multiplayer element, and a lot of people think that the game suffered because of that, although I must say I did really enjoy Bioshock 2. But one of the things that really makes these games stand out is the setting. Now, like any movie, if you're going to make a good story-based game, you need a good setting, you need an environment, a world that absolutely immerses the player. They need to be fascinated by the world that they're exploring, otherwise they're going to turn it off and play something else. And if you think about the settings of those games, for the first two you've got Rapture, this sort of moody, dystopian, underwater, mysterious, and in some ways beautiful yet creepy at the same time. This world that really grabs your interest, and you can sense that you don't know everything about the place that you're exploring, and that keeps you wanting to look, wanting to find out more about what's going off. It's that ambiguity that keeps you interested. Similarly, Columbia, which I think is possibly the most beautiful, is this seemingly utopian place up in the clouds where within the first 5 minutes you can sense that what you're looking at isn't a full picture, and there's something beneath this, some sort of dark, sinister, underlying dynamic about the place, and it makes you fascinated by what's going on. And it's got that thing about it where you can happily just take a time to stand and look at your surroundings and just be blown away by the environment that is around you, and that makes for a really compelling video gaming experience. You can probably always find something new. On top of that, the stories of these games are simply outstanding. Like I said, it's mysterious, it's ambiguous, it keeps you interested, you want to know what's around the corner. And without any spoilers, these games have absolutely mind-bending twists that can leave your brain in pieces while at the same time leaving you absolutely enraged. Not at the game, but at characters. You become very emotionally engaged in the stories of these games, and one of the things that I really like is how the story is told. As you walk around, you can learn as much or as little of the story as you like, because it's mainly through picking up audio diaries. So you're walking through, you pick up an audio diary, you can choose whether or not to listen to it, and then you hear a little bit of dialogue from a character whose face you haven't seen yet. All you get is a little cartoon of their image at the bottom of the screen. You almost come to care and be interested in people that you've not even met yet, because you're hearing their story after what you assume to be a very significant event. And when you do eventually meet these characters, it's all the more interesting. And I like the fact that you get to choose different outcomes for certain characters, and you really feel like you're playing an active role in the story of the game. And because of the way the stories are moulded and told, it's one of those where after you finish playing the game, you can find yourself spending hours trawling through Reddit and other forums to try and piece together your own final interpretation of the story. And I really like that aspect of it. It's one of the things that makes me love Dark Souls so much as well. And on top of that, just to add to the overall ambience of the game, the music is fantastic. In every area, in every scenario, the music mirrors the mood so well. So your emotions are so well driven by a combination of the setting and the mood. Whenever you go into a new area or a new scenario, you can sense that the emotions you're feeling are exactly what the developers want you to feel. It's a really well crafted experience. Even when it's just little snippets of music that you hear on jukeboxes, they can make an area feel very unsettling, and it's just really well put together. And a personal favourite of mine is this choice that you have throughout the game. I was very invested in the little sister side of the story. This is where you've got the small child accompanied by the big daddy. You can fight the big daddy and choose to save or harvest that child, and it feels like a very moral decision and plays a big part in the kind of ending that you get. And for me, I always choose to save them because I felt sympathy towards this animated character that was not real. The same sympathy I felt for Elizabeth in Bioshock Infinite. It's that ability to make you empathise with pixels on a screen that really make this a fantastic gaming experience. And for me, I've not played another shooter like it. I know there's question marks around how you could make a new Bioshock game now they've done Rapture and Columbia. Where would they go next? Would it hurt the franchise to make another game? But I'll tell you something, if Ken Levine announced tomorrow that he was developing another Bioshock game, I would be nothing but 100% excited for a chance to explore a new world in the Bioshock universe. But for now, all we've got is the original trilogy, and it's something that I play annually, starting from the first Bioshock all the way through to Infinite and the DLC. But what do you think of the Bioshock series? Am I overselling it, or do you agree with me that it is one of the best franchises, especially for story-based shooting of the modern gaming era? If you did enjoy this video, would you kindly leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all very soon.